morning, good afternoon. Hi in the bushes. Hi, BC. Sorry, I was like a couple seconds late there. I totally got distracted. I was in watching Lip Lock No More, and they're talking about random funny stuffs. So I was kind of cracking up. I wanted to come on. We have two interviews to go over that Carrie had put out over the last couple days here. That we have not discussed, and we didn't watch those videos yet. But primarily just to make sure that everybody realizes that Angel is still missing. Hi, Marley. How are you? Welcome, welcome. And honestly, to talk about the elephant in the room, there is a lot of stuff that is going on Facebook right now. It's honestly getting messy. This is something that I have told mom since day one was going to happen. Very early on in this case, we did look up that as we would internet sleuths, we sleuthed the case and found out that dad had a criminal record, that mom did not have custody of Angel, none of which matters. To be completely honest, I don't think that either one of their history has literally anything to do with Angel missing. Other than could it have been part of the reasons that she could have taken off or run away? Sure, absolutely. But kids from perfectly normal homes go missing every single day for absolutely no reason, right? These predators that talk to these children online, they are very, very good at getting into their brains, getting into their hearts, and making them feel like they are the most loved, most cared for person in the world, making them think that everything in their little universes is going to be the most perfect thing in the world if they just run away, if they just leave with them, something along those lines. And so I don't personally think that all of this stuff that is coming out online, I don't think it has anything to do with anything. If some of this stuff that has happened in the background behind the scenes, if some of that stuff is true, then that's something that Angel is going to have to deal with once she is found, with therapy, with child family services, with whatever. But I don't think that it's appropriate or necessary to put all of this out on a social media platform. If I was interested in harming this child and her family in any way, shape, or form, then I would have started out covering her case with the drama, right? We could have started out covering her case with every ounce of drama that is in this family's history. We could have started out covering her case by bringing up every single skeleton within every single member of this family's closet, as we will likely see some creators do, because that is what sells, right? That's what sells on YouTube. That's what gets the clicks and views. That's what people want to talk about. They want to talk about the deep dark secrets. They want to talk about the stuff behind the scenes. They want to talk about the horrible outlandish moments that people remember, instead of talking about who Angel is on an everyday basis, not just on those one or two moments that she may have been less than perfect, right? Not just on those one or two moments that frankly, if it happened in your child's life, would you want those details slathered all over the internet? If something like that happened in your young teen's life, would you want that to be the detail that everybody is discussing instead of where she is located? And so that's kind of the elephant in the room. We're just going to address it right up front. I know mom is frustrated with me right now, because I did approach her and I was like, it just seems like to me that the podcasters are promoting the podcast more than they're promoting your child's name. Stuff on the Facebook group getting deleted, such as comments that were giving advice and things like that. It made no sense to me, period. And so mom got frustrated with me for saying that and for warning her, listen, some of these rumors, some of the things that's going on, the best thing to do is to face it forward. I don't need to know the details. I wasn't personally asking her for the details. But to address the issues before somebody else is able to run rampant with it. Because if it looks like you're hiding from these details, if it looks like you're hiding from these horrific events, then that's what people zero in that much more and try to make a mountain out of a literal molehill, out of a grain of sand. These are just specks of dust of events that happened in Angel's life or that happened in her family's life. But again, I personally don't think that they have anything to do with where she is right now. At this moment, Angel Turner is missing, likely with a person that she was speaking to through the internet, some way, shape, or form. Do we know the details of that connection? No, not exactly. We know that she could have been accessing the internet from her TV. We know that there are other ways that she could have had access to the internet, despite, all of her family's attempts to try to keep her offline. The point is, we know that that's her last types of communication. That's where we left off. And at this point, if police thought that there was foul play, if police thought that there was any type of situation where, dad or mom would have been involved, I feel like we would have had indications of that at this point. We would have seen them doing searches at the house. We would have seen them, taking dad in for questioning. We would have seen them, declaring a crime scene. None of that stuff has happened, you guys. Let's live based off of reality. They don't think that she is in that immediate area. I mean, come on. Even the psychics don't think that Angel is in that immediate area. And so to address the elephant in the room, we just got to keep maintaining the focus on where is Angel, what happened to her, where could she have possibly have gone, and keep that being the goal here. The goal is not to dig up as much dirt as possible on this family. That's not my goal. The goal is not to find every long lost cousin, relative, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, whatever. The goal is not to find every person in their lives, to pull up a piece of dirt and hold it in front of them and say, hey, do you remember this incident, this horrible incident that happened, this horrible thing that you did in your past? I'm going to hold that up and I'm going to place that in front of these flyers, because nobody is seeing the flyers. All they are seeing is this elephant that we're putting inside in front of everything. And that's not how it should be. This is what's important. Where is Angel is what is important. What happened to Angel? Where did she go? The why did she go? The why is she gone? That'll be figured out later. Once she is found, they can figure out the why. Once she is found, they can deal with that within their family unit, within their child welfare system, within police bounds. The why, that is something for a therapist to handle, not Facebook sleuths, not YouTubers, right? Our job is to look for the where. The where is Angel. Where? So that's it. I'm going to get off of my pedestal here. I didn't even look at the comments while I was doing that because I knew I would get distracted. Hi BC. Hi. Oh, I'm on my headset again. Thank you. Let me fix that before I completely blow out you guys' eardrums. Man, I just did all that talking. Here we go. Is that better? I just did all that talking and it was through the crappy headset. I'm so sorry, guys. I always forget to switch from my work headset and switch over to my mic. But so that's the whole point. You know what I mean? This we're not interested in the drama. The drama can be talked about later. You want to know every detail of her life? Find her. Find Angel. Help look for her. Find her and then ask her. Find her and then ask her the details of her life, right? We don't need everybody to go into that. Like I said, if that was my intentions, if causing any type of harm or whatever to this family was my intentions, I would have came out of the way doing that. I wouldn't have sat there and put together a fact sheet. I wouldn't have sat there and gave advice and things like that. It bothers me though that's the perception, right? If you warn somebody, the perception is you're threatening them. Like, no, I'm warning you. I'm warning you. I'm not trying to bully you. I'm warning you about the dangers of this platform because I've spent 3 years watching families come to this platform,
watching families come to social media to get help, to get assistance. And all that happens is they get viciously attacked, and people try to destroy their characters, try to destroy relationships within their families, try to destroy, you know, everything. They try to destroy everything about these families. And every single time, what ends up happening is it's disgusting. It's just disgusting. But these channels who do it, they get so many views. I have watched family people record the parents of let's talk about Michael Vaughn for a second. Completely off topic, but let's talk about what they did to Brandy Neal. They recorded her in some of the most vulnerable times of her life and then released it for YouTube content. Like, come on, guys. We have watched some disgusting, disgusting stuff happen. Let's talk about Kaylee Jones' family, who was accused up and down one side of the street to the other about how they murdered her, about how they murdered Kaylee, and that they knew 100% without beyond a shadow of a doubt that Kaylee was buried in her backyard. Kaylee Jones is currently safe, alive, and at home, and took more than 6 months to be recovered from the predator that she left her house with, right? And so this is what's important. Sharing her poster absolutely everywhere, keeping your eyes open, because she could be anywhere. She was right on that state line, right on that border, and she literally could be anywhere right now. And so let's bring the focus back to these interviews, back to the different things that we have heard from mom. I know we're not hearing from dad. I know that that is something that a lot of people are struggling with. The fact of the matter is, dad is in his 60s and does not have social media, period. From what I understand, like, he has had to be shown how to use phones whenever he was forced to upgrade to a smartphone. He is not tech savvy whatsoever. From what locals are telling me, dad is out there day after day sharing flyers. He is absolutely destroyed, devastated, devastated because he tried. He tried to protect his daughter from herself. He tried to protect his daughter from the internet, from social media, and he failed. And so he's beating himself up, he's holding himself responsible, he's absolutely devastated, and he's out there searching and looking for his daughter. It's unfortunate that, you know, people are looking at things from 20 years ago and putting that on him as if that defines who he is today. 20 years ago from today, I was nowhere near the same person that I am right now. 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 months ago, I wasn't who I am today. And so it's hard to look at people like that and be like, "Oh, this is who they still are." We don't know that. We don't know. And I say again, if if she is going through something at her home, if something made her desire to run away, made her want to disappear, if something forced her out of this house so that she would run to somebody's arms, let's figure that out after she's found. You know, let the therapist, let the police, let them handle it after she is found. Because I'm going to tell you, after Kaylee Jones was found, she was held with police until she went through mental health counseling, until she went through social services, all of the things to ensure that her household was safe and a healthy environment for her to go back to. They will do the same thing for Angel. They do it for every missing child after they are found, after being missing in situations like this. And so rest assured, if there is an issue at home, they will make sure she is okay. They will make sure before they send her back home. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with not having social media. I think it's hard. I think a lot of us read into it more too because the issue is the local media is also not out there trying to do interviews. Right? We are so used to in missing cases that the reporters get right up there on the family and they ask them questions and they sit there and they try to interview these people, and then we get the feedback from the family, but we're not getting that because the local media is not outside of his house. The local media is not putting pressure on this case. The local media is not doing their part to make sure that Angel's face is getting out there. despite what the police are doing or not doing, despite what the family is doing or not doing. Where is the press, guys? Where is the press? It shouldn't take YouTubers and TikTokers and Facebook groups and all of those things to share this information. They should be there. They should be helping in missing child cases. There should be no reason that one child gets more attention than another, right? We watched we watched with Gabby Petito, that blew up nationwide. We watched with Kylie Rodney, that blew up in hours to become a huge case. And so what makes Angel's case different? Why is the local media not interested in covering missing children? And I know West Virginia is always the common factor. And you think that until you hear about Riley Crossman, who is a local girl who went missing and was found deceased in that area. Like, I had no clue about her case until this one. I had no clue the circumstances surrounding this until Angel went missing. But here's this. Let me show you. Riley Crossman. This is West Virginia. She went missing from Berkeley Springs High School and she was murdered. She was murdered in 2019. And this case blew up locally. Was all over the news, had a huge following behind it. And so what's the difference between Riley and Angel? Why does the press care more about Riley than Angel? What's the difference? They're both blonde. Is it because she's not as photogenic? Is that why? Because I think she looks beautiful in all of her pictures. So what's the difference? There's just as much social media presence being pushed. So why isn't the news station out there? Kim, they have tried to contact everyone. They've tried to contact everyone. And here's the situation. We're sitting here looking at this. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has been contacted multiple times by extended family members of Angel Turner. Multiple times. Now, the situation is they have to be contacted by a custodial guardian. And I'm not sure that mom is able to do that, just to be completely honest. I'm not sure that mom is able to put her on the list because I don't know what her actual custody rights are whenever it comes to Angel. But then I'm hearing that it's taken 14 days in some cases to get people on this list. Why? Like, are they not putting her on because it hasn't been requested? Or are they not putting her on because she's just they don't have no sense of urgency? There's just no sense of urgency surrounding Angel's case whenever we have no clue. We have no idea what is happening to her or where she is right now, and there's no sense of urgency from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. There's no sense of urgency from the local media. And from what's being displayed thus far, there's no sense of urgency from the local police to make some type of update. There are locals reaching out to me asking, "Hey, is there something that I need to be afraid of? Could this be a dangerous situation? Do you think there's a predator out there?" I don't know the answer to that. I'm not the police department. I have no clue. Is there somebody targeting specific gaming sites in the area? I have no idea. That's something police have to address, and they're not. Why? Oh, wait, it's West Virginia. So many cases, they just don't make public statements. They don't reassure the public. They don't even communicate very well with the families. I was shocked whenever Carrie was telling me that they were communicating well with her, and obviously that's changed in this last 2 days. She said in the interview 2 days ago that they weren't being as vocal. So what's going on? I mean, we know they're doing their job, but what about the reassurance for her family? What about the reassurance for the community? Not me. I'm online. I'm not in this direct neighborhood. If there's something going on, if there's a predator in that neighborhood, it doesn't affect me. If there's a predator in that neighborhood, don't you think it affects the little kids who live down the street from her? Or the other teens that are online? Like, where's the sense of urgency? And that's where I get frustrated because we don't know what we don't know. And what we don't know right now is that what happened to Angel. We don't know where she is. We don't know what the circumstances surrounding her disappearance are. And we are left completely in the dust. So, anyways, and take a listen to what mom had to say um, yesterday and the day before, because we are a little bit behind. So this first one's from day 9. We are on day 12 now.
It's pretty much all you can say in a situation like this.
You hanging in there today?
I'm functioning at this point. As the days go, it's harder and harder. Um, it's pretty much all you can say in a situation like this. You get up and you
Now,
take care of what you have to take care of, and you just push through.
yeah, because you have like your normal stuff on top of this. So I'm sure that it's been very difficult. Have you had any updates on anything? Are they working on any leads that you know about? How's the communication been?
The last communication I received was the last post that I posted. About them looking into the websites that she was on. Outside of that, I have emailed Corporal Hendrick every day for a daily update. Now, he may have been off work, and I understand they're human beings with life and family and, all that. But he emailed me back simply with just, I've been out of the office. I don't have any new updates. And that's all he said. And I responded back that, I'm figured you were off, but you're being very vague and this is very concerning to me. So whatever's going on there, we need to get the community of Berkeley Springs together and not harass them, but encourage them that they need to take this seriously. Angel is 15 years old. She is a very loving and she can be naive, even though she's highly intelligent. This is serious. This is 9 days. This is serious. So we need to figure out a way to get Morgan County Sheriff's Department to step it up a little bit. We need to figure out how to get the state police involved. We need to figure out how we're going to get this to where this is spread.
Hey, Seal gifted 5 memberships. Welcome to the Sleuth family. Everybody who got a membership, welcome, welcome. Yay. As far as so BC, I don't know if I really want to go into that because I don't know. You're asking the other girl that was murdered, isn't the podcast group working to free the person in prison for it, unless I misunderstood. So that's kind of what the person who is running that other group is alleging. I don't know, but again, all of that's a distraction. Who the podcast people are, how they know Carrie, how they're connected, whatever is happening, all of that, it's just another elephant in the room. It's just another thing that we can set in front of Angel and discuss and talk about and nitpick and pinpoint that has nothing to do with where this child is. It has nothing to do with it. And so it's just one of those things that it's like, it may or may not be true. I have no clue. Could that speak to their motivations or not speak to their motivations? I don't know. Does it make you raise your eyebrow? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, none of that's important because they have provided the platform to which Angel's case was heard, to which Angel's story got out there. And so I don't know, a a wrong clock is still right twice a day. Did they do the right thing twice a day? Or has that been the wrong thing that they did and we just focus on that and everything else they've done has been right? Something to think about because we really just don't know. And it's just another elephant distracting from what the case is. I'm gonna skip this next part because they do suggest things that I don't necessarily agree with. Um, as far as how to contact the police department, things like that. I don't want to encourage anyone to do that. I do think that the police have enough on their plates. Do I think that things like peaceful gatherings and things to show awareness, prayer vigils, stuff like that, to show that the community cares about Angel? Do I think that stuff like that um, can be imperative to making sure that the news has something to cover? Absolutely. So that the news media has a story to post about Angel in order to talk about her disappearance. Absolutely. Stuff like that can keep the press going. It can put pressure on the police to make sure that they are aware and that they know that we're not going to just forget Angel. I think stuff like that is important. I don't think that sending emails, faxes, things like that, I don't think that that's appropriate, though.
Agree that Morgan County Police need to step it up, but just keep it all condensed in one area and let them.
She would be the first one there to show some. She would want people to pull together, and I guarantee you she'd be the first one there if this was somebody else's child. She would be the first one there to show support. So everything you do, do it in the honor of Angel. Do it with her compassion and empathy that she has. Um, but we've got to do something. 9 days is entirely too long, and she can be anywhere, anywhere. And if they're just sitting there and not taking this case seriously for whatever reason or whatever they're doing, we need to show them that this is serious, because this could be any one of your all's children, anyone, boy or girl, who they don't care when they're grooming these children. They don't care. All they see is money.
Now, do I personally think that Angel is being trafficked? No. I don't think that if she was groomed and lured out of the house, I think it was one person that utilized whatever social media platform, whatever video games to get contact with her and to connect with her. Could be Roblox, could be whatever. We have no clue. Roblox was at mom's house, right? And so do I think that this is a situation where they lured her to traffic her? Not necessarily. We don't have proof of that and that that's exactly what's going on yet. Police have not indicated that. So as far as, those types of concerns for the community, we don't know. And so we don't know what we don't know. And I think it's easier to assume that this is one creepy individual who has contacted and lured her out of the home and that she may have truly felt connected to. She may have truly cared for this person, but it does not mean that she is continuing to stay wherever she is on her own accord. We've seen that in multiple cases where these teens leave the home intentionally, but never intending to stay gone as long as they are. And so just because if she left this home intentionally, she left it on her own accord, does not mean that she wants to stay gone. It does not mean that she is continuing to be with whoever she is with right now by her choice. And so that's something to keep in mind, that she could be being held against her will somewhere that she initially willingly went to. So,
Well, if we can keep it peaceful, I want everyone to have respect, everyone to come together with love and go down to the gazebo and in solidarity, nothing violent, nothing disrespectful. Just show solidarity as a community that everyone is on the same page, that they want Morgan County Police to do their job and to do it well and do it better. And that might even bring the media more into it when they see that unity in the community of everyone gathering in a peaceful protest, wanting them to do their job. Um, and again, no search parties, none of that stuff. That is not something that we are requesting. That is not something that we want. The police department, they would be the ones that would do something like that. But we need to get them to that point to where they make some kind of a statement, some kind of a press conference. Am I right?
Yes, they need
Okay.
to do something, because you can't just sit on a 15-year-old child missing. You can't sit on that information. I don't even care if the children are runaways. You cannot sit on that information. There is so much dangerous things and avenues that can happen out there. Even if a child went willingly, there is so much that could happen. That may if they went willingly, that may not mean that they stayed willingly. And it's their these groomers' jobs to know how to earn their trust and to build that relationship and grow with them. Um, and Angel would have taken that trust. She would have been like, okay, I've got a friend, um, and she would have taken that to heart. Uh, so it's very imperative that we, for a lack of better words, light a fire under their rear ends. We have to find Angel, and we have to find all the other missing ones that I've seen people posting online, whether in West Virginia or whatever state, country. This is not good. My mama instincts is telling me that something is very, very, very wrong, and we need to do something. Heck, I think you can even go and send messages, blow their messages up on Facebook on their page.
I'm gonna skip that part because again, I don't think that blowing up the police accounts and utilizing their resources that they are using, especially small departments, they have to appoint somebody to read tips. Is a tip going to be missed because we're sending them thousands of messages? That's something to keep in mind. I don't think that that's the right approach. You're worried because of how the dog was left out if she went to talk to someone and maybe they have taken her. So the only thing that makes me hesitate with that is the fact that she took a clothes basket and some clothes. To me, she was intending to be gone for at least a short amount of time. Um, Now, I wish we knew exactly how much clothes. Mom has clarified and said a small to medium basket, but we haven't heard from dad, unfortunately, and so that is one of the things that kinda stands out, because of the clothing. But I agree, though, normally, the dog being out, did she intend to go at that moment? We have no clue. Could she have went in potentially like, did she maybe take out one load and was gonna go back in and get more personal items and then, wasn't able to? It's possibly. Sarah Hart, thank you so much. I so appreciate whenever you give these missing flyers, to the drivers, and such, these truck drivers, they go to so many locations, they're everywhere. No, Roberta, dad is not in jail. She was living with her father at the time of her disappearance. Now, dad has a previous criminal history from 20 years ago. From what I can find, it looks like it was all mostly on one incident uh, that happened. And so he could have possibly made one mistake 20 years ago, and people are saying horrible things about him and his daughter, 20 years later because of a mistake that he made. Um, And so that's not exactly fair, is it? Hopefully Angel contacts someone. Maria, yes, the 12-year-old from Georgia took 2 months. She was only found due to her contacting her dad. Do you guys remember? Oh gosh, I wish I could remember her name. The one case Cracking Cases was doing, and they were covering a missing teen from their local area. And while they were live, covering her missing case, she came into the comment section, and then she eventually called them to verify that she was alive and stuff, and they were able to help her, get back home and get police in contact with her because she had ran away, and she was, watching YouTube, watching the coverage of her case, and they were able to connect with her. And so, Angel, if you're watching, reach out to your family, reach out to the police department, reach out to somebody from your boys and girls club, reach out to somebody that you trust and let them know that you are okay. Let them know that you're okay. I know your birthday's in 5 days. I know a lot of things change on your birthday. But reach out and tell somebody that you're safe and alive if you are. Maybe she thought she would back out right away and didn't think the dog would be out long. Maybe, right. That's true. Small to medium basket isn't really gonna fit very many clothes unless it's my son loading it. I've watched him shove an insane amount of clothing in a very small basket before because he doesn't wanna make 2 trips. And so it's hard to say, really. I mean, did she empty all of her dresser drawers? Did she empty 1 dresser drawer? I don't know. I don't know. We have no idea. It's all speculation without the facts.
Where's going to be the press conference? Because I see a lot of people asking me or putting that on our page, and I can't give that answer. If I
It's
could get a
yeah.
news crew right here now, you guarantee you I would give a press. I would say something.
We have seen families, I think this is why people are asking this question, and it's nothing against Carrie or the family at all. But we have seen families, whenever the news is interested in a case, give updates without the police even present. They just get a family representative to help organize with the news media, and then they hold their own press conference. That is something that can happen. Do police necessarily always advise that to happen? No. No, at this point, unfortunately, because of the way that these cases go on social media, most police forces tell these families to stay quiet. They tell them not to talk to anyone. They tell them, gosh, let's bring up another case because that's what I do. I sit here and think about these different cases. But let's talk about Echo. Echo Lloyd. Her daughter stayed quiet forever, it felt like, because that's what she was advised to do. Echo's still missing. And she eventually came to social media for help because she was frustrated that the police weren't doing enough, that they weren't providing answers, and nobody was talking about her mom's case. And so it's a double-edged sword. I say this all the time. You get into this double-edged sword side of things because you need the public to be aware that your child is missing. You need people to know that your baby is out there somewhere. You need them to know that. You don't need the extra stress and drama and nitpicking and fighting and just craziness that comes with it. But unfortunately, that's how true crime minded people think. We automatically think whenever somebody goes missing, we start looking. We start looking at any possible answer. We start flipping over rocks and we discuss it. Whether it's publicly or privately, you discuss the stuff going on around the case. It's a natural reaction. That's why they tell families to stay off of social media. That's why they tell families not to engage in the groups. That's why they tell families not to reach out to people. But at the same time, if you don't reach out, if you don't share your missing child, if you don't trust people with information, if you only rely just on the police and you don't make a big deal and a big fuss about your case, if you don't do any of those things, you want to know what happens to your child? Let me show you what happens to your child. Your child becomes just another flyer. Just another flyer that nobody knows is missing, that nobody is searching for. And how long are they gone? This is cases near me. Let's look at I've been covering true crime for 3 years. I had no clue that Stormy was missing from Homestead, PA. That's like an hour from me. I had no clue that Colton is missing in Somerset, PA since February. How many details are on this case? Let's look at this. How many details because his family is not speaking out, because he does not have someone advocating for him? We have one sentence. That's how much effort was put into finding Colton. That's how much awareness that Colton is getting. One picture, one sentence. Colton was last seen February 20th, 2024. Well, thank you. Do you know what he was last doing whenever he was last seen? Crickets. Do we know how much press is out there about Colton Little? Let me take a look. Let's see. We'll take a look. Go to Google. Colton Little missing. Have you seen Colton Little? Missingkids.org. That's the only article. That's it. That's the only article is the link to this poster that has one sentence. Not one media statement, period. This is what happens whenever you leave it to just the police. And I got the thing up. In too many cases. I am so sorry, guys. I know. I just now looked. Sorry, sorry, sorry. But this is what happens. This is it. This is the amount of coverage. This is what these kids get. It's frustrating. What do you do in that situation? What do you do? Stormy, let's pull hers up. Let's take a look. Stormy's been missing since February of 2023 from Homestead, PA. Oh, wow. She's got 1, 2, 3 sentences. Stormy may still be in the local area or may travel to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Her nose is pierced, and when she was last seen, her hair was dyed pink and purple. At least they gave her 3 sentences. That's a step up. I wonder if she has any articles about her or any information out there about her missing. Let me take a look. And here's the frustrating part. As a YouTuber, if somebody reached out to me with this information and gave me nothing else, how do I cover this case? How do I raise any awareness about this child missing with no information whatsoever? This is it. Missing alert on mostfreebies.com, a missing child quick report on missingkids.org. That's it. That's what she has. Have a good day, Sarah Hart. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What do you cover? The families have to talk, but they have to be able to talk. They have to be able to share the information without us caring about the elephants. They have to be able to share the information and Angel's whole story without us caring to pay attention to all the drama. That stuff can get resolved after she's found. I assure you the police will take care of it. We have to pay attention to what's going on now. The fact that she's missing. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know I'm preaching to the choir with you guys in here. I don't know. I'm gonna hit play again.
Right. I can't understand why they haven't just acknowledged that there is one of their own residents that has gone vanished out of thin air.
Yes.
You know, they could at least get on TV and say, Berkeley Springs, we have a missing minor, something like that. They don't have.
And I agree with her. I agree with what she's saying here. But the reality is they don't. The reality is they don't for any of these kids, guys. Day after day after day, child after child after child after child. They don't. I wish it was different. But if they were to talk about every single teen that ran away, or every single child that went missing, every single adult that went missing, we would have a 24/7 channel streaming nothing but missing flyers. That's the reality.
Have to go deep into the investigation and everything, but at least acknowledge it. And that is where I have a problem with it. And, you know, getting the news there, sometimes you need to step it up a little bit where people are like, what's going on in that community? There's a lot of people gathered at the park. Boom, you've got your media there. You know, we have been very successful with getting it all over the internet. I am
Yes.
so impressed with all the people that have stepped up and have been sharing and sharing and sharing. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. But now's the time we're going to step it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, BC. They are starting to cover her case more and more, but it's still not enough. It's still not enough. And this is where I was saying, if the news media was actually invested, they'd be out there trying to interview dad. They'd be standing outside showing the area. I mean, JLR type coverage, right? Videoing and showing the surroundings and putting out, you know, whatever, interviewing the neighbors. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing that type of stuff. Yeah, not long segments, but it's something. It's way better than nothing. It's way better than nothing. I can get you that information there, Kim. If you go and just type Angel Turner missing. Mm, mm, mm. Looks like the Winchester Gazette, WV Metro News, Project SAS, Panhandle News. No, that's old. Oh, no, that isn't old. August 5th. Okay. So August 5th, though, that's a couple days ago. And then, of course, you have us YouTubers and you have the, I don't know why this is. Oh, Nancy Grace featured her. That's awesome. Or no, actually not. I lied. She didn't feature her. It's somebody in the comment section and Google pulled it up. Somebody commented underneath, please, Nancy, share Angel Turner. So hopefully Nancy Grace reaches out to some folks. I know not everybody agrees with her. Not everybody agrees with everybody, right? There are creators that you like. There are creators that you don't like. But that's not what's important. Who cares who you care about? I know there's a lot of people in here who don't necessarily care for JLR. Well, guess what? How many views his video got? Let's see. Give me 1 second here. Let's go look. You might not agree with JLR, but his video on Angel got 15,000 views. In a case where she could be absolutely anywhere, 15,000 views spread all over this country, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I ain't getting 15,000 views. Period, especially since I took my break. I'm just coming back. I'm just coming back from break. So you need it. You need these creators to a point. I hope that everybody stays respectful. So far, everybody has stayed respectful. I hope it stays like that. You like JLR, and that's a lot of people. I mean, listen, some of his stuff I really enjoy watching. I'm not even gonna lie about that. So here we are. Where did my thing go? Okay, let's get back to this video. Otherwise, we're gonna be here forever. Hi, Cooter G. No, he has not gone there yet, BC. He has not gone there. He had surgery not too long ago. I want to say like his gallbladder or something ruptured. Maybe pancreas. He had something happen and had to go have surgery, and so he's been down for a little bit now. Like he hasn't teleported anywhere lately.
And now where are you at with the people who were showing disrespect and everything? Hopefully that's cleaned up a little bit. I went in and I fixed the settings and everything that's been on there. I've been scrolling through and trying to pre-read everything before it goes on there. And there is a rule on there that they have to abide by now that says that, are you going to respect the family and not say hurtful things? That's one of the rules of the group. So has it gotten a little better, I hope?
It has gotten a little better. You have a few that's filtered through. I've noticed a few comments as I've gone through, and I just haven't shared them because you know what? You're not worth my time. All you're doing is creating a distraction. You're just not worth my time if you're going to come in and post stuff that you have no idea about. You're not a professional. So
So the problem is they're trying to filter absolutely everything out has just led to another group being created. And this is something that I had said to Melissa Ann a few days ago. I was like, they're going to create another group. And that's exactly what happened. We see it in every missing persons case, though, that starts to go viral because people want to talk. They want to talk about all of the ugly truths. She has naked truths. I'm talking about the ugly truths. What I find important or find value in might not be something that somebody else finds important and finds value in. And what people are asking questions about, it's valid to a point, but is it what the focus needs to be? No. Does anybody need to talk about horrible things that possibly could have happened or did happen, or uncomfortable things that Angel has done in her past or hasn't done? No. I don't think any 15-year-old that is currently missing would ever want to come to the realization that horrible things like that are being spread to the public about them? Do you think that that's going to make a 15-year-old want to come home knowing that her community now knows about a personal sensitive situation? I mean, honestly, if it was you, would you want some personal sensitive situation being out there? Absolutely not. I felt the same way in Sebastian Rogers' case whenever they started talking about his sensitive past. Why is that what we focus on? Why do we focus on the most terrible parts of people? Out of the entire day that whatever these events took place, they maybe were 5 minutes of her whole 24-hour period. And instead of remembering the other 23 hours and 55 minutes, we remember those 5. Why? Why is that how the human life works? Out of every video and every case that I have covered, people will always remember the video that I had a meltdown. Why? Why focus on the worst part of me? It's just how people work. You don't remember the good. You don't focus on the blessings. And that's something to think about. Are you a person who focuses on the blessings? Are you a person who focuses on the good moments? Or do you only want to analyze the bad?
So if what you're saying is not something that you want to be said to yourself in a situation like this, don't say it. Ask yourself,
Yeah.
is what I'm going to put going to be helpful or harmful? I think I've seen 3 different people put that up there. I believe one of them was Amy Sue Feaster, and I think Jesse Estes had almost commented that, and I believe there was one other. Um, but just have a heart, you know. Angels brothers and sisters are going through a great turmoil. You know, they are so hurt by this, and they just want her home. Um, her niece asking her mama every day, "Mommy, where's Auntie Angel? Mommy, where's Auntie Angel?" And she comes home from school hoping that there'll be a word, and her mama doesn't have a word to give her other than, "We're still looking, honey." And that's heartbreaking for a 6-year-old because they don't understand what's going on. You know, we understand what's going on, but their little noggins can't wrap around it. They don't know. And it's so hard. It's so hard. I haven't even been able to talk to Hayden without
Oh,
wanting to break down because I can't face her, you know, because I know what she's going to ask me, and Nan can't fix this on her own.
oh, we need everyone's help on this. Unbelievable. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I know that it's been really hard on you, and you have been so trusting of law enforcement. And in my mind, it's absolutely awful that they're not responding more. You've put it out there, and you've even told people like, no, no, I really believe that they're doing their job. I really believe in what they're doing, and I believe that they're working hard in the investigation to find everything. And you have advocated and stood up for them. And I think now it's time to get louder.
It
Not
is.
violent, not mean, but we need to show them that that is a very small town, very tight knit town. And I mean, if you got to parade the street with her face all over your cars, um, please do. Put her face all over your vehicle, and
Yeah.
you know, drive up and down the road. Um, Go to the park, gather peacefully. And then we need media. Anybody who is involved in the media, we need the media. If everybody decides to join at that park, we need the media there. We definitely do. And if the park is not a good place, maybe there's somebody there that knows of a better gathering place where people can come together as a community united for Angel.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not sure. I've been down in town a few times, but I haven't been, you know, down there regularly. But I think we can do this. We have to let him know that this is serious. This is a human being. This is someone with thoughts and feelings and emotions just like everybody else, just like them. And we need to find her. They need to step it up. We can't do this anymore. 9 days is entirely too long.
If there is any organization
Trishy said, I think with these missing cases, it's because it's a clue to the potential incidents that surround the tragic disappearance. It may or may not be related, but statistically relevant, perhaps. And I get that. I totally get where you're coming from. And that's why I said, these discussions on Facebook and stuff like that, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Because unfortunately, I would say out of 10 cases that I cover, 8 of them are murdered by their parents. Period. Like, and that's probably being generous. Like, it's sad, but I cover so many kids that are supposed to be missing that are murdered. But I will tell you that after covering so many cases that end in death, there are always signs from the police that that's what they're investigating. Whether it's crime scene tape up around the house or watching the officers go in and out of the residence or watching them collect evidence and things like that, right? Are we seeing them collect evidence in this case? Is anybody locally seeing a police presence anywhere near this residence? Or did we see police go in and the first day run dogs through, search the house, things like that, and then they left? They are not investigating a criminal disappearance as far as murder and things. That's not what's happening here. That's not what's happening. If there was a criminal element to this, police would have spoke up. They would have said something. And yeah, BC's right. It's their wording. Whenever they do speak, the wording surrounding the case, the wording surrounding it. The first press conference, with Cody Bigsby, right away, we knew. We knew before they ever said another word. The second press conference, they flat out pointed the finger at his dad. In your opinion, it was handled as a runaway. I think so too. But they collected all of her devices. They also searched the home. They searched with dogs, we're hearing. They never went back. Gannon Stauch was reported as a runaway. If you're not familiar with Gannon Stauch, he was reported as a runaway by his stepmother, who had brutally murdered him in his home. Police went that first day. They searched. They checked the residence. They took her in for questioning the second day. And then we watched them go back for evidence over and over and over again, all while still telling the public there's nothing to worry about, there's no threat to the community, and all the things, right? Just searching for him. We're just searching for him. But at the same time, we're watching them walk in and out and in and out, and evidence bag after evidence bag, all the things. Then they started going in the middle of the night taking evidence. They were doing all the things. We're not seeing the police act in that manner. I do not think that there is a world that exists that Angel was harmed by either of her parents. At least not involved. Let me what is this? I don't think that there's a world that exists that she was harmed by her parents that is connected to her disappearance. I guess I should say that, because I don't know what her life was like before she left. I don't know what her life was like before she went missing. And once she's found, hopefully she can give the police and people answers if there was something. Yeah, there were huge search groups. Huge search groups. But then there's other cases, right, where we've seen the police. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna hit play. But I don't think that they're acting like this is a foul play situation as far as that goes.
For the missing that could attend to keep it peaceful and to show, because a lot of the missing people organizations, they've been involved in this stuff, so they know how to kind of keep it organized and mellow. We want to be mellow, but we want to make a point. We want to show that solidarity and the unity of the community. And why would a police department not look at their residents and the citizens of their county and say, hey, look, this is what they want. They need this girl to come home. So I believe that if the community sticks together and they're doing it in a peaceful way, I do believe we will get results. And we do definitely need mainstream media. We have to get those stations to come down and report on that town. You know,
Yes.
put them in the
Yes.
hot seat. Put them in the hot seat. Nobody likes bad press.
Exactly. And I think the perfect time to meet would be 7:30 on Saturday mornings when Angel was
Perfect.
discovered missing, because Saturdays is usually a day that people have off work. I know that there's probably quite a few people that are out of state that would want to attend, so they would need to plan that in order to attend. So I think Saturday mornings at 7:30 would be perfect. I would, my fiance and I would be right there,
This would be
right there.
a great week this week to plan an organized thing. I mean,
Okay, so I'm going to stop that interview right there because they go into talking about planning this event. Well, then people in the Facebook group instantly jumped on that and wanted to plan the event. They were all like, all right, we're doing a vigil. Let's do this. So are we doing it this Saturday? Like, where are we meeting? Where do you like? They were trying to plan the event, and that was immediately shut down because Angel's mom, I guess, determined that with the new involvement of the FBI, she said, that she didn't think that a vigil was the right approach, basically, or that it wasn't necessary at this time. I don't know her exact wording, but she basically changed her mind about that situation, and they did not want an event planned. And so that was kind of like, but why? You know what I mean? Um, but again, she's her mom. That's her choice. She doesn't wanna do it, then okay. If especially if dad's not wanting to do it, her extended family is not wanting to do it, then what do we do? As the public, I mean, it's their daughter. It's their cousin, it's their aunt, it's their person. All we're here to do is help share it. That's it. So we can't make decisions like that. If they don't want a gathering, then they don't need a gathering. But here's the second interview. This one is from yesterday.
hi, Carrie. How are you?
Morning, Matt.
Kim, that's what she's saying. So she originally said that the FBI were involved, and then she said that she found out that they weren't involved, but that they are involved now. I don't think it's that unheard of for her to not be, or for them to be involved, because this likely crossed state lines. It likely had to do with the internet. And so any internet cyber crimes type of stuff, you know, that would usually indicate police involvement, because the actual local police forces, they're not going to have the resources to track the websites and do the different things that they need to do. And so that would not shock me one bit if they are involved. I don't honestly know. We're not hearing from anybody. I have not heard from not one police officer. We're taking everything that mom says and putting it in a basket and carrying it around because that's the only information that we have. We just have to trust the family. We just have to trust the mom, and that the stuff that she is telling us is accurate and truthful. That's all we can do. Just put it in a basket and carry it around with Angel's flyer. That's it, you know?
That's for sure.
Yeah, we got some actual positive news. Do you want to tell everybody what it is?
Yeah, misinformed, for a lack of better word, or lied to about the FBI's involvement in Angel's case. So, with it being 10 days and not hearing anything and not getting anything different, I took it upon myself to contact the FBI, and I got sent to the right person. And they had offered their help in Angel's case, but they had to be invited in order to look at the case. She gave guidelines for them to be able to just go in and take the case, but that criteria would have had to been met in order for them to be able to go in and just take control of the case. However, I will inform you that it was not law enforcement that gave me that misinformation. So don't go after them. They're still doing what they're doing. The FBI is now involved. They've got all the information that they need. So we've got a good step in the right direction today. I am kind of breathing a new breath of fresh air.
over knowing that. And
Yeah.
it makes me feel good. It makes me feel really good.
Yeah, I'm sure that your heart was just felt so much better to get that kind of news. I mean, with everything kind of at a standstill, and I know that we were upset with law enforcement, and people got upset with us for being upset with law enforcement. But I mean, like, come on, we were just wondering what the heck is going on. I mean, I do, in my personal opinion, I thought it was pretty slow. I mean, I'm a mom myself. I probably would be flipping out. Um, I couldn't understand why it was going so slow. A lot of people in the community are like, "Why are you blaming law enforcement? It's not law enforcement. You have to trust law enforcement." Well, yeah, just but try to put yourself in another person's shoes and understand when you're sitting here and your child and you haven't heard from them. The sun goes up, the sun goes down. Still haven't heard from them. You're gonna get a little angry.
I see your big eyes, Kim, and I hear what you're thinking in your brain. But I want to point out that she does not name where this misinformation came from, right? She doesn't name it. She doesn't name why she had that assumption. Uh, who knows? We have no clue. A lot of people, of course, are jumping to, oh, dad told her the wrong thing, but we don't know that. From what I was told, they're not communicating with each other. You know what I mean? And even if they were, so they haven't communicated with each other really since like the first or second day. I don't know exactly when, but they haven't been communicating with each other, mom and dad, because of their tumultuous past and things like that. My thing is, how general are the communications that were given? And how much knowledge does dad have about the investigative process? Was he just like, I don't know, the FBI and all the people, like, was he just like, ah, they were here, they were searching, they tore the house up, they were looking, blah blah blah. Like, we don't know what was said. We have no clue what was said. Or like I said, if it even came from him, somebody could have automatically been like, oh, she was doing cyber stuff. Automatically, the FBI is going to get involved, just like we're all thinking. And so, that could be the eyebrows. Like, did somebody tell her that? I don't know. Don't know. You're at the beginning, but I said it before. My parents, especially my dad, was so protective and made sure we were safe, educated about the dangers of online, even in the early 2000s to 2010. My younger sister still almost got lured away with her friend by an older man from online. Your dad intercepted it just in time, and the man was arrested. That's insane. Yeah, it happens everywhere. Kids don't understand. I'm going to tell you a story about my sister, real quick, actually. So, same thing, same type of story. I wanna say, let's see, I had already graduated, so it was probably around 2010, and my sister, my babyest sister, the youngest one, I wanna say she was around 13 years old, and I had to move in with my mom, whenever I got pregnant with my son. You guys know I was in a bad relationship, things like that, and I moved in with my mom, and I started noticing things because my mom worked 2 shifts. She was always working all the time. And so I was with my sisters a lot, helping provide care for them and stuff like that. My middle sister, she jokes around all the time that I was the one who used to ground them. I was the one who saw everything and would catch them doing all the things because I knew how their brains worked. Anyways, so my babyest sister the one day, she gets off the bus and she runs immediately to the mailbox. And I'm like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" Well, I had already got the mail. So then I was curious, like, why is she so eager to get the mail? Well, so I look and she had a letter from somebody and I opened it and it was a phone card for a cell phone that this man provided her. You hear what I'm saying? She was 13. She had met him online, started communicating with her, and he sent her a phone and a phone card and was buying her minutes so that she could text and call him whenever she felt like. Whoa, right? Here's the kicker. This guy was the father of somebody that I went to school with and lived right by our high school. So she was planning to get off school on one of the half days. All of the teens would walk uptown and go eat lunch, hang out with their friends, all these things. And her plan was to get off school and go meet this man on a half day at his home. They did nothing to him. because she had never physically made contact with him. They did nothing to this man, the police I'm talking about. Nothing. He did not get arrested. He did not get in trouble. He had never sent her pictures and she had never sent him pictures. And so no laws were broken. At that point, she was just friends with him. Talk about crazy, right? This stuff used to happen back then. Anyways, so let's get back to the story though. Let's get back to this. Yeah, teens think that they're invincible. If a teen thinks nothing will go wrong and that the parent is being uncool, right? Most likely because my nephew did not like how strict she was when it came to the internet, right? You're still telling your 22-year-old granddaughter all the evil out there, and she is leaving for her master's in Arkansas. It's too far away. Yeah, you have to worry. It's just, I don't know. The world is not safe. You can't live in fear, but you do have to live with like your brain going constantly. You do have to think about what could possibly happen.
And I feel like now that the FBI is involved, they've got that push, they've got that extra stuff. So what a relief.
Right. It could even be they have extra hands, extra ability, extra resources that they don't just have being a local law enforcement agency. So when you have those extra things, and especially the resources, it makes a big difference in any case.
I have a
So
question though. What with the local law enforcement, couldn't they have reached out to the FBI and said, "Hey, look," or West Virginia State Police, and start pulling all that in once it's reached this far?
they could have. I can't speak for them, and I've supported them 100%. I actually will be going here within the next few days, within the next week, down to have a sit down with Corporal Hedrick and or Sheriff Four. I think to them, because I'm so far away, I am just a voice on a phone and just words on a screen that they're reading. So it's I'm going to go down and let them know that I'm a human being,
Good.
that I am Angel's mama, that I do love her, that I want the, I do support them. And I have from the get go of this case, and anybody can go back and look at the post and see that.
Yes,
There's always a reason.
you were advocating for them, and you were just putting all your faith in them, and people were actually getting mad at you for waiting. Like, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? You said, let the police do their job. I'm trusting them. They're the professionals. And you were standing up for the police. And then once we got impatient, obviously when you get like that and you're wondering what's going on and it's quiet, yeah, you feel like you got to rock the boat a little bit. Right. So now everything is okay with the police department. We're not going after the police department with protests or any kind of stuff like that, correct?
No, no, everything's cool. I'll go down and I'll keep you updated. I'm not going to give the day that I go down and speak with them, because I can see that that's going to cause
Yes.
more issues, because it
Yeah, don't do that.
brought to my attention today that there is someone that's going off on the side to make a page because I'm withholding information and stopping comments and yada, yada, yada. Grow up, number one. Number two, y'all are like a bunch of little toddlers at a candy store that can't be trusted. Do not get in the candy jar. This is a real human being you're dealing with. I do not support nor condone any other pages than this page that was created for Angel and specifically for Angel. And I do not condone or support anything that they do, that they say, that they whatever. This page, nor I, nor my family are responsible for anything that this side group, nor any other future side group decides that they're going to do. If you want to follow that page, by all means, go and follow that page. But you're not the person that I need behind my daughter, so step away from this page.
I mean, you heard it. She said what she said. The reality is, unfortunately, you're never going to stop it. You're never going to stop people from talking about all the things. That's it. That's it. I mean, it goes back to everything that I said at the beginning. Are we focusing on Angel or are we focusing on the elephant? You just got to ignore it. You got to let it roll off your shoulders. You got to let it go, because you're never going to change the opinions of the masses. You're never going to stop the conversation from taking place. You're never going to be in that situation where you can stop the ball from rolling once it's started. And so, yeah, that's where we're at. I will say that I have been removed from the main group because I was in the other group. I did join the other group. It is what it is. That's the decision that you have to make. I don't know. I think it's important though for people to be over there whenever questions are asked to try to give the appropriate answers. Do I have questions? Sure. I question, dad. I've asked a few questions about dad now, and I am thankful I was able to get some answers. The local that is connected with dad was able to come on and tell us in this other group what dad is doing and that he is out there searching. The perception thus far has been that dad is doing nothing and that dad isn't looking, and that's the perception that we all had. But the fact is now we have somebody who's been able to share with us that he is like devastated and out there sharing flyers, posting flyers, hanging flyers, and looking for his daughter. I'm glad to hear that side of things. Hi, Libby. My husband just came home and I was supposed to do stuff today and I didn't. Now he's looking at all the things that I was supposed to do.
And you are the owner of Help
I am.
Find Angel Turner, yes, right?
I am. And if the facts do not come from my mouth, they do not come from a post from me, it does not have my approval, it is not fact, and take it with a grain of salt. I always told my kids, and I'll tell every one of you that's out there that's listening to this, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Because people are going to lie, they're going to manipulate, they're going to deceive. You've got gossip rumor, you got conspiracy theories, you've got all that out there. Let them do them. They can do them. But they are not allowed to use Angel's pictures, any pictures that I have posted of her personally. I can't stop them from using the flyers. They can do that. I can't stop them from that. But any picture, any post that I do, any podcast that I do, any YouTube channel that I do not condone, nor do I want them to use my word. That they are so against me that they've got to run away and create a group. And I'm telling you, Angel would be so disappointed in you.
And that's unfortunate. I will tell you though, fair use. Anything that you post in a public platform can be used for the purpose of discussion and learning and all the things, right? And so, unfortunately, that's the reality of this situation. Um, it sucks. I don't think anybody is necessarily against her. I think she feels attacked because stuff in her past is coming out, but this is stuff that I told her from the beginning was going to happen, and she was aware. She said, "Hey, whatever happens to me, I don't care. I want my daughter's picture spread. I want her face out there." And all of this to me, it's just another distraction. It just feeds the drama. It just feeds the elephant. We don't need to give the elephant no more peanuts. We don't need the focus to be off of Angel. Period. That's it. Just keep the focus right here. And I will share her pictures with or without your permission because she's missing. She's missing, and the community needs to see her face. They need to see all of the different ways the Angel's appearance changes from look to look to look. She could be anyone. Anywhere right now. She can be anywhere is what I meant to say, not anyone. She's always going to be Angel. But she could dye her hair, she could cut her hair. We need to see the different facial expressions, the different ways that she can look with a hat, without a hat, with a smile, without a smile, on her bad days, on her good days. We need to know more than just her flyer. And I know you came to this platform to make sure that she was more than just her flyer. We have plenty of kids that are just their flyers out there. We have plenty of kids that have no one looking. It's not Angel. Thank goodness it's not Angel. She has a little army forming of people searching for her and helping share her face. She's not going to become just another face on a missing flyer because of that reason. She's not gonna become just another kid, just another runaway for that reason. BC, it's just anything. Like people were just asking just random I know the cover. The people were just asking like random questions and getting blocked and denied and stuff like that. It was very I don't know. It was just I don't know.
She'd be looking at you all and she'd say, you know what? My 2-year-old niece has a lot better sense and maturity than what you all do. Grow up.
Yeah,
Grow
I freaking
up.
love you. I love you. You
It's
got pizzazz.
I you know, I not only have Angel that I have to think about, I have 2 other children of my very own that I have to think about and how all this affects them when they're seeing this drama, this this fighting, the bickering, the childishness. When they see that, that's affecting them too. So you want to come after somebody, come after me. I got broad shoulders. My daddy gave them to me for a reason. But when you
Yeah, and
start messing with
they
it's a
got
completely
upset because
different.
the comments were shut down. Well, they were shut down because it was just bickering and fighting back and forth. And it wasn't productive at all. And we're trying to find the young lady, not bicker back and forth about what people believe and conspiracy theories and, everybody's personal beliefs. That's not what this page is for. This page is to find Angel.
Right. It's to get her face out there. I've noticed that I had a lady come to me or message me this morning, and bless her heart, I think she posted something about her son. And she messaged me and she said, do you want me to take that down? I said, no, I don't want you to take that down, because I know what it's like to be in these shoes. So if
Yeah.
you have a story to tell me, if you have a way for me to cope with it, if you have a way, something that you did that maybe I didn't think of doing, absolutely post it, comment it, message me. I am more than happy to read through and I read through the comments and I have approved so many comments and there's been some
Mhm.
that I've and I'm like, yeah, I'll let the other one go ahead and check this out because I'm not comfortable with it, but that doesn't mean that it's not okay because I'm the one that's in the like it's me that's waking up with this reality every day. It's my children that's waking up with this reality every day. So everybody else is too, and there's a lot of very empathetic and very supportive people in the group. But again,
Mhm.
all I'm gonna tell you is if you want to follow a side group, get your ass out of Angel's group because she don't need you, nor does she want your support. If
And
you
the
can
people that
behave to me,
and the people
act
that
like
do show support are so thankful for the people that are.
Again, I 1,000,000% disagree with this. Angel needs everybody until she's found. Whether you agree with mom, disagree with mom, agree with dad, disagree with dad, agree with uncle, disagree with uncle, agree with sister, disagree with sister. We ain't here to freaking fight. We're here to share a missing person. Agree to disagree. She needs found. I thought that was our focus, not which side you're on. Holy crap, we're drawing a line in the sand and saying, "Hey, you 1,000 people that have joined the other Facebook group, you're not welcome to share Angel's information?" What? In what world do you just turn away 1,000 people? Mind blown. Are we not trying to share this? We're mad because they're doing things that I told you that they were going to do? You just turn them all away? Everybody needs to look. Whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, a psychic, a not psychic, somebody who supports psychics, whether you're a Christian, whether you're an atheist, whether you're black, white, brown, green, yellow, turquoise, whether you think mom did it, didn't think mom did it, dad did it, didn't do it, whether you're a drama channel or a crama channel or a missing person advocate, I don't care. Share her face. Everybody needs to see it. Who the heck are you? Okay, you're her mom. That's great. Don't you want her found? Stop kicking people out. What are you doing? They're not all going to agree with you. It's the internet. They don't all agree with people. You can't just boot people. I mean, you can, sure, but to say that they can't look at her posters and oh, I'm sorry, they can look at her posters, but they can't share any other pictures. I'm sorry, but these pictures that are on this poster are not the best 3 pictures to share of your daughter. What about this one? She looks completely different in this one. We don't think that one's important. What about this one to show how she looks with her hair pulled back and in a hoodie? Just relaxing. Come on. I try not to get on parents of missing people. But it's like, we can't shut out one half of the opinion. Who cares what half of the opinion that you're on? Good Lord, I will go to the biggest drama channel I know right now and beg and plead for them to cover Angel's case. And I'm gonna regret saying that because I know what happens, but this girl needs found. That's the reality. Please stick to the facts of the case whenever you're covering it, absolutely. But we need you to cover it. I watched Justin for All. aka Clutch the Pearls, cover her case, and he did an amazing, respectful job covering her case, may I add. He did awesome. He got out all of the details of the case. He made sure that her photo was up almost the entire time, and he put her information out there and a couple other missing people. He did great. Am I going to tell him just because I don't agree with him on most of the cases that he covers, or the way that he covers Sebastian Rogers, or the way that he covers the whatever? Am I going to tell him because I don't agree with how he covers a case that he shouldn't put Angel's face out there to the public? What? We're literally working against ourselves at this point. We're literally working against ourselves. Isn't the goal to get their faces seen? I don't care who you agree with or disagree with. Isn't that why we're here? To focus on Angel, not the elephant. To focus on Angel, not the elephant. Yeah, Roberta, they're reading off of my fact sheet. Do I have Sleuth Mom and a giant watermark on the back of that fact sheet? No. I do it in the little tiny corner. I don't care if any single one of them says, "Hey, thanks, Sleuth Mom, for putting this together." But that's not what it's about. I did that so that Angel would have factual information out there. Facts as we know it, I guess is what I should say. Facts as we know it out there for people to talk about so that we didn't have to dig into the unsavory past of every single person. That's why. But now we're getting lost in the weeds. We got Mom being like, "Hey, if you're going to join the other group, you don't talk about my daughter." Like, what? Come on. We're losing sight here. We're losing sight. Oops. There's literally 1,000 people. There's literally 1,000 people.
Polite. They have manners. They really care about the well-being of you, your family, and care about
Absolutely.
Angel.
Absolutely. For everything I do, for everything I post, remember, you have not walked a mile in my shoes, whether it's this situation or any situation in my past, present, future. You have not walked in my shoes. You do not know the life that I have lived.
You're right. I don't. And I don't care. And I'm not here for you. I'm not here for your family. I'm not here to make sure that your family is safe. Did I give advice? Sure. Did I try my best to provide things so that people can be safe? Absolutely. But I'm here for Angel at the end of the day. I want to know where she is and what's going on with her. It's not about protecting you, it's about protecting this child and making sure that her information is out there. It's about caring for Angel and focusing on Angel, not the elephant.
So everything I do, there is a reason and a purpose behind it. Just like everything that you do in your life, there is a reason and a purpose behind it. If you can't trust me, walk away. We don't
Yeah.
need you, nor do we want that kind of negativity and that kind of energy surrounding this case. And I'm not being held responsible for anything that anybody else says or does. If it does not come from my mouth through two chicks on a mic or through any other future YouTube things that I've done or will be doing, it's not fact. It's not fact. So do with it what you want to do with it, but we're not connected with it. And shame on you. Shame
And they
on you.
And a lot of the people on the YouTube channels and stuff, I see that. I mean, they're doing well. They're going back, and if anything is not correct, they're correcting it. They're working alongside with you, and that's good. You know, we have to make sure that there's not misinformation out there because there is the rumor mill. We need to make
1,000,000% agree with her that everybody has been doing phenomenal on YouTube so far until we hit the psychics. And I was like, "Ooh." I said I said, I said that I said to the admin of that group, I was like, I said to Melissa Ann, I was like, "Hey, so be careful because there's getting ready to be a psychic covering the case." And they've never been good news for families. Oh my goodness, they've never been good news for families. And, I know that there are some people who truly believe in that, but psychics typically start out and they cover towards the facts of the case. They say stuff that's very reasonable to be factual. And then somewhere along the roads, it almost always turns into, well, just like everybody else, they get lost in the weeds and they focus more on, backgrounds and histories of the parents and the families and things like that, rather than the details of where the child can be. And then it turns into a landslide of information, of harmful details and things like that. And so anyway, so I was like, "Hey, careful, there's like a psychic coming on or whatever." And she was like, "Don't you or oh great, where's the video so I can make sure it gets posted?" And I was like, "Yikes, don't do that, whatever." Well, then I watched the live and mom and the admins were in there like cheering the psychic on and thanking her and things like that. And I'm like, okay, is that okay? So they might believe in that. That's cool. That's your choice. But to me, whenever you're saying like keep the focus on the facts and on the truthful information and the details that are there, how is a psychic factual information? How is a psychic, keeping that focus there? So a psychic is good, but, finding out what website the angel potentially could have been on or her usernames is bad. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then so that's where I get confused. I get lost in the weeds in that situation because it's just the complete opposite of what they're saying. You have the second Facebook group for Angel. Yeah, I'm in it. I got booted from the original because I joined it. You have 1K in 24 hours. There was a reason. Yeah, there was a reason you started the second Facebook group. Melissa Ann is an advocate for the murderer who's in jail, and he is her boyfriend. Oh, I know. And so again, though, that's one of those elephants that I'm talking about. Does it? Does that matter? I don't know. It could, right? But my goal is to stay focused on Angel as much as possible. And I just don't I don't know. I don't know the details of all of that. Clearly you do, Dimple Girl. It's just not something that I've just met these people. I don't know any of their past. I don't know anything. Riley had a lot of friends in public school that helped get the word out. Yeah. Seems Angel had lived, yeah, I think so too. She was definitely more isolated. I would say locally though, this case is like spreading like wildfire there. I mean, there's flyers up everywhere. To me, it just doesn't make sense why the media doesn't want to do more in-depth coverage. I can share you the other link. Yeah, they may have stopped communicating with the mother for a reason. Most locals believe she left on her own accord. And that's very possible. I mean, this could be a situation where if she's not the custodial parent of Angel and dad threw a stink because she's on Facebook and on YouTube and on the podcast or whatever and she's doing all the things, dad could have thrown a stink up and said, "Hey, she doesn't even get this information. She doesn't have custody." That could be a situation. I'm not saying that it is, but it's a possibility that dad could have stopped the police from continuing that open line of communication. We just don't know.
sure that everything is accurate because God forbid, should there be anything wrong, you want to make sure that you have the right person, you have all the right stuff and all the right information, and not just stories that people are running with.
Getting to be so many of them that I'm getting like behind because if I'm watching them, I'm typing in the comments, if they're asking questions and I know the answer, I'm typing in the comments so that they can have that. And every single one that I've done that with so far, and I think last night when I checked, there was like 10 channels that have done a story on her, but that was as of last night. Every single one of them has come back and said, "Hey, we got an update from mom. She was in the chat, yada yada yada." So,
Mhm.
for the YouTube channels out there, the numerous ones that are covering her, I think you've seen my picture, my YouTube picture enough now or whatever to know. But if you need to question me, go to Angel's page or go to my personal page and you send me a message and I'll be more than happy to answer questions. If you think something's not sounding right or something's fishy, you are free to contact me through Facebook. And I'm not hard to find. My daughter's picture. Well, maybe I am, because Angel's pictures a lot of people profile picture right now. But please feel free to contact me if you're unsure. I appreciate every single one of them. Like I said, there was like I think 10 last night, and my heart is so warm with the love and support of those that are actually standing behind Angel and I and my kids. We are just we are overwhelmed with the love and support that we have seen, and I am so full of gratitude, so full of gratitude.
Again, I say I will stand behind Angel. I'm not here to stand behind the family. I'm not here to necessarily protect them. Did I give advice? Absolutely. But she's saying message me if you have questions. And then if you message her whenever you have questions, she gets angry. Like, or at least she did for me. Like, she was very frustrated with me that I asked her a question and then made this big long post about bullying her for answers. I mean, swear to God, I could show you guys the entire thing that I said. I won't share what she said, but it wasn't even it wasn't even accusatory in nature. I simply asked, hold on, let me go to it so I can make sure I say the right thing. I simply asked, is there a reason that Kenny hasn't listed her as missing? He would be the one who would have to call, meaning the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. That's what I said to her. And apparently that's bullying and doing all the things because I asked her that. That is a valid question. Why is this child still not listed on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children? And so the person who said that they were talking to dad, I did tell them, hey, if you're talking to dad, please, please get him to call this website and put her information on there. If it's the fact that hasn't happened yet, right? It very well could be that for some reason the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children just hasn't listed her yet. That could be a situation. I was not aware, but Carrie Moody recently covered a case that took 14 days. 14 days. 14 days for that child to get on. Why? Why did that happen in Carrie Moody's case that she covered? I've never seen that. My experience in the past, I've helped multiple families reach out to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. You call them, you give them the information, they tell you where to send a photo, you send the photo. Literally, I've seen it done within 15 minutes to a half hour before. And so then I'm sitting here scratching my head like, why? Like, has a custodial parent not reached out to them? Has the police not reached out to them? Like, what is going on? Why is she not on the website yet? I don't know. But like I said, Carrie Moody said the outlier. I've never heard it take that long before, but apparently it did recently. Is National Center for Missing and Exploited Children like super backed up? I don't know. I don't know.
It's
That
gotta
I
feel so much better to you now than see her face just all over that people are trying so hard to find her, because I mean, days are going by and it's awful. But
it
days
is.
ago, we're where we are today. Where we are today, her face is all over cars, all over everything. There's people in the UK that are doing YouTubes and stuff over her, and
Yeah.
it's getting out there.
Yes, it's bittersweet for me to see that because I love seeing her face. I loved her smile. She's always had the cutest little chuckle. So it warms my heart to see her face, and it warms my heart to see so many people supporting and standing behind us. And doing the simple things that I've asked. Share her post, get her out there. If she's all over the place and she can't be hit, it breaks my heart too because then the reality is my child's missing,
Mhm.
and I don't know. The uncertainty is just will take my breath away sometimes. So it's bittersweet, but I'm grateful for every single one of you that are truly standing behind and supporting it.
Yeah, and if your thing is not approved on if your comment's not approved, sometimes it's the same thing. Like a lot of people will say the same thing over and over and over. So I try to be fair and go with the person who said it first, because
Right.
we're flooded with messages. There's so many messages, and I just try to be fair and look at, okay, well, that person tried to post this video first. Today I ran into a situation. There was a video that was posted, and I posted it, but then I looked back and I saw, oh shoot, she had already put it in there. So I took mine down and made sure hers was up. But I don't want to get into like tit for tat and
No.
everybody. It's not like a competition. It's nothing like that. We just all want to be there for Angel. We love all the people who are joining up on the group and trying to help and everything. Just please, please, please try not to argue with each other and try not to get in these little fights with each other, because that's when you have to shut it down a little bit to kind of, what do they, detonate the bomb, just kind of, or not detonate the bomb, but put the fire out.
How you get those two things confused? Shut it down so that we can detonate the bomb. I mean, put out the fire. Like, that's very different. Everybody's loved and welcomed, except for anybody who wants to hear answers to questions like, what is the dad doing? Then, if you go to the other group to find out information like that, or raise questions about why is the podcast posted every like 2 hours? I think it was like every 2 hours. But then you're seeing people with like, this post was not accepted. And it's a post that gives explicit, very good instructions. Actually, I'm going to read this post because this post needs to be seen by people who have missing children, because it was a really, really well done written post. And it was declined. It doesn't make no sense to me. Says, this is what I've wrote. I've never been declined before. Hi, all. My name is Kat Johnson. I've tracked missing cases in Maryland for 25 years. Here's a few things I suggest doing. Look into her friends or friends of friends on Facebook, or people you don't know on her friends list. If she is being trafficked or left with someone, they usually have a fake friend connection. Go through online sites of escorts, especially back internet. I've found many, many young women there over the years, and unfortunately, if she is being trafficked, they are putting her online somewhere. Go through this in other states as well. They move these girls around really fast sometimes. Has anyone contacted the West Virginia Center for Missing Children? I don't see her listed there, and the Missing Children Center is who listed her on the National Center for Missing Children's website. They also have the ability to send out thousands of flyers to the area she disappeared, and also telephone alerts in certain cases. I would suggest contacting the Maryland Center, of the PA Center, and the Virginia Center for Missing Children once you have her listed on West Virginia. They usually will do social media blast on their own social media pages. Has anyone contacted the local rideshare groups? Very often when young women run away, not saying that this is the case, but someone orders them an Uber. We have seen that 3 times recently where these teens have left in Ubers. That's a huge, huge point. You also want to distribute flyers to any and all rideshare groups. That's how people without cars get around. The ones I'm in, we sometimes see posts from drivers about concerns with young people taking Ubers very late at night. Has anyone checked any pharmacies to see if there have been any prescriptions called in for her? I believe even underage, you can call in prescriptions and pick them up. Most pharmacies aren't going to check. Has anyone contacted Walmart or anywhere a burner phone could have been picked up at? If she's being trafficked, pimps tell the women to leave phones behind, and they often give them burner phones to communicate. Track her last 3 months' time when she was not around anyone. See what you can find out. Often there is a pattern you'll see, and maybe they were suddenly going to see a new friend, walk their dog at a certain time, suddenly going to the pool, etc. Was she smiling and seemed happy suddenly? If she's being trafficked, these pimps absolutely convince these young girls they are their best friend, boyfriends. Long gone are the pimps in the big hats on the streets. These same people pay others to go into online applications that young people are on and befriend them. Someone lonely will suddenly have a person chatting with them all day, telling them how great they are, acting like their best friend. This can go on for months. The goal is to convince them that they are in love with them, can't live without them, So, baby, you got to run away and join me. Then an Uber's called one night and they sneak out and get ensnared. Look for any fake account on social media and fake email addresses. On the phone, go to stored passwords and look for anything stored that you don't recognize. Go to any browser that she had and any type or had and type in A and then B and C and see what comes up for the history intel type. Repeat this on Facebook and anywhere that she may have typed. Log out of Facebook completely and in the email field, repeat the alphabet. Often teens will delete the profiles, but they don't know how to delete. Whoa, where'd it go? But they don't know how to delete the browser history. Try this on all the browsers of any computer that she accessed. If you think she might be in a certain area, use paid Facebook ads directed towards people in the area. You will need a Facebook page, not a group, to do all of the above. Cut down on the amount of posts here that aren't really necessary on what's going on. Like, hi, I shared the flyer on Instagram. You want your audience to be able to see only pertinent information on her disappearance and not have to filter through a bunch of excessive posts. This is amazing advice. It's very good advice, Kim. Very good advice. And so why was that post declined? Why in that situation are we declining posts like that, but we're confirming and accepting posts where it's like, hey, I shared the podcast here, or hey, I shared the podcast there. Like, is this about building the podcast or is this about helping find Angel? And so, I'm a horrible person for saying that, but it's true. Are we looking to build our own social media platforms or are we looking to get the information out there about a missing person? That's the question that I have for any single person who touches this case. That's it. Are you doing this because you care about a missing child? Or are you doing this because you're hoping to get clicks and views? What's the reason? What brings you to this and other platforms? What is your purpose?
Because you're wasting time arguing with each other online. That's one less share of Angel's face out there. Or if you're not even in Angel's, if you're not sharing her, maybe you're sharing another child. That is one less share of whoever you're sharing or whoever you're trying to help because you're sitting there arguing.
Mhm.
It is something for people to come together and argue over. This is something to bring people together and support and, love and have empathy and compassion and understanding. But I guess this world has just gone crazy because I'm seeing so less of that and so more entitlement. Well, this was done, and that it's not the way the world should go. And we continue in that direction. There isn't going to be a child out there, mine nor any other, in the future that's going to be found because y'all are too busy arguing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a very, very small town, and there are a lot of good people in the town, but there is the bad apples, and those
Right.
people have been friends for years, and they're thriving on this drama going back and forth and stuff like that, and they know who they are, and
Yeah, they do.
it's and I'm not even gonna say names, but they're all the same names popping up all the time, anytime there's drama or bullshit. So
Right.
just kind of know that there's going to be those people, and there are some very, very good. You've got Roy's that is letting Stacy put the flyers there. They are a staple in town. They've been there for so long. Everybody knows them. The church is letting her put the flyers in the blessing box. I mean, there are a lot of good people there. You just got to watch out for the people that want to start stuff. And I really wish that they would change their thinking a little bit and realize that she's 15. She's missing.
The only way that
Stop.
their thinking would change is if they were put in these shoes. And I will not stoop to their level. I do not want anybody else to be put in these shoes because it is horrifying. It is horrifying. I couldn't tell you the thoughts that have gone through my head. I did a project for my psychology classes a couple years ago, a report, and I was researching child bride. And I am telling you right now, when I heard that the one man was of Middle Eastern descent, every picture that I've seen, every video that I watched, every book that I read, every YouTube, like it just all come flooding back to me, and all I can
Hmm.
see through my
So she specifically says that the person who took her was of Middle Eastern descent. So that's new. Originally they said that it was a Hispanic driver in the one vehicle, But I want to remind everybody these vehicles were seen on Thursday. She was last seen by Dad at 11 p.m. on Friday, reported missing on Saturday. So whoever was in her driveway on Thursday is not proven to be connected to her case. Does that make sense? We have no proof that that person has anything to do with it. But also Hispanic and Middle Eastern are different. And so which one is it? What's the correct answer there? Just saying. It's different. They're two different things. For all we know, they could have got groceries delivered. They could have got a pizza delivered. They could have had, you know, I don't know, whatever. I mean, seriously, Walmart has been at my house 3 times today already. My neighbors, if I went missing tomorrow, would be like, "Holy crap, there was a strange car there 3 times yesterday because the same person came all 3 times." How do we know? We haven't talked to Dad. We don't know. Did they get pizza on Thursday? Did they get groceries delivered, medication delivered? Did they have a FedEx package delivered? Like, there's all kinds of reasons that somebody could have been in their driveway. Sorry, but I don't see how a car on Thursday is 100% connected to Saturday. It's not. Friday night. She wasn't missing on Thursday. She was missing on Friday night to Saturday morning. So a vehicle on Thursday, it might be nothing. It might be something, but it might be nothing. And 2 different vehicles. The Hispanic driver was in the car behind the house, I thought, right? And then the white vehicle was in the driveway with the male at the trunk. But I don't think we heard a description of that male, unless somebody can tell me differently. To my knowledge, we haven't heard a description of that other male. But he was in the trunk and Angel went to the door. Now, we don't know if she was at the door of the house. We don't know if she was at the door of the trunk. We don't know if she was at the passenger door. We don't know. But if it was a FedEx guy, could she have been meeting him for the package or for the pizza or for the Walmart delivery? We don't know. Does Dad know?
My mind is Angel's face in those places of where those girls were. And that is horrifying. That is absolutely horrifying. And I don't want anybody to go through that. So again, I will say, if you want to follow a side channel, you follow that side channel, but you leave Angel's page and don't come back. And you let me know
Yes.
so that I can block you and make sure you can't come back. It's that simple.
Well, yeah, it's awful. I'm hoping now that the FBI is involved. And of course, everybody's like, oh, no, don't tell everybody what's going on. That was never the intention from the get go. We weren't telling people, like, we're going to find out what's happening with law enforcement so we can post it on our group. No, that was never the intention. The intention
Absolutely
is
not.
to find, you know, a way to get her more out there and to get her on like mainstream media. Like now that the FBI is involved, maybe CNN will pick it up. Maybe we need to get it out there, not just on the internet. I mean, we're so thankful for everybody on the internet with their videos and podcasts and all that kind of stuff, but we need to get it to where people are eating dinner at night and they see it on their television.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I
And
will let you all know that I've been talking to a private investigator. She's been working really close with me. She's been very supportive. So she's working different angles for me, that things that she's thought of, and she is contacting. She's been working with the police, doing the best she can. It's a slow job because it's slow. Either they're off and she's what it's slow. But she has. I've been speaking with her, and you got to remember, like everybody's life has a story, and not everybody's supposed to be privy to that story. And
Mhm.
there are things in life, and I guarantee you, each one of us everyone out there can relate that there has been something traumatic that has happened to them or that they've
Oh yeah.
experienced, thought, and they do not want to share. That's something you want to keep back. So, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind because you just don't know what somebody else has gone through in their life.
I 1,000,000% agree with this part. If something happened to Angel, I don't think it's necessarily every single person on the internet's business. And I know that if I was a 15-year-old girl and somebody was posting something that traumatic happened to me, I'd be mortified, mortified to ever show my face anywhere that anybody recognized or knew my name. I'd be absolutely mortified. Why is dad not talking? Kristen, so from my understanding, dad is in his 60s. He does not utilize social media. He's not very tech savvy as far as the phones and things like that go. To this point, I don't believe any reporter has approached him for an interview, and that would be the only way that we would hear from him. Unfortunately, the media surrounding this area has not put an emphasis on Angel's case enough to pursue dad for any type of comment. Um, and so that's something to keep in mind. Now, we did hear from somebody who claims to be close with dad in the bad Facebook group, quote unquote, bad used lightly. And so they are saying that dad is absolutely devastated, that he has been out posting flyers for her, that he has been searching. He's just lost in this world without her. He's completely crushed, but actively doing whatever he can. She said that Facebook is not his priority, Angel is. And so we just have to take her word for it, just like we're taking Angel's mom's word for everything else, right? We take all this knowledge that may or may not be true, we put it in a basket and we carry it with us with her flyers attached. And that's just it's just where I'm going to stay. You know, we just keep shoveling the information in. Put it in your pocket. You might need it someday.
And if you haven't gone through anything traumatic, count yourself lucky. Because let me tell you, it's a hard road to recovery after you have to processing and dealing with all of that. So count yourself lucky if you haven't had to experience anything.
So is there anything else that you would want the public to know right now? Anything extra that they can do to help?
No, I think the ones that are really supporting Angel are doing everything that they can. They're doing their best. They've been gone above and beyond. They've treated Angel to a point as if she was their own child. And for that, I'm truly grateful for. It was sent a news article here just a little bit ago that I'll share on the page, but I seen that the news article got a little bit of information wrong, saying that she was seen getting into a vehicle with a male, but it's in the Morgan Messenger. I was just
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I said, oh, geez, Morgan Messenger.
Right. Because no one saw her getting into the vehicle. They saw vehicles at the house. No one saw her getting into the vehicle unless somebody saw something, and the police haven't shared that with me, which if that's the case, I think that's pretty wrong to not share that information with me. But
Again, though, the vehicles that mom has told us about were on Thursday. She was reported missing Saturday, last seen Friday, according to what we were told. And so the vehicles may not be connected at all.
there was 2 vehicles seen there, her dad's house, and they were seen during the day and Thursday. She was not seen getting into a vehicle. So that is something that needs to be cleared up, and it could just be miscommunication, as far as that goes, or they heard it wrong, or could have been cutting out. You never know, but that is not the case. And we're going to go with just the vehicles, because if she was seen getting in a vehicle, you would think that somebody would have noticed the vehicle, since that's a very odd hour to be getting in a vehicle anywhere, unless you're working some crazy shifts. But yeah, that she was not seen getting in a vehicle.
Okay, good. Well, this is where it's important that people get the information from you. And if it doesn't come from you, it's not factual. It's not factual unless it's coming from you. And thank you for clearing that all up. And I just hope that everybody that continues to
Okay, so that was the interview that was done yesterday. I think, saying that only factual information coming from her, I think that's being a little bit closed-minded, right? Because mom has one perspective in this case. She has one set of information that she has gotten, and frankly, we don't know how updated it is. We don't know when the last time she communicated with dad, who has firsthand knowledge, or the police for that matter. And so there could be other information that we're going to receive that's not going to come from her. So just keep that in mind. But like I said, as far as their backgrounds, as far as the all of the other things, eh, don't let the elephant get in your way, right? What's important in this case continues to be Angel, continues to be the focus on her and making sure that they can find her. Everything else, you guys, can be dealt with after she is found, after she is brought home safely. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down this live. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in and kind of hearing my thoughts and things on the interviews and just staring at this beautiful girl's picture with me for the last 2 hours. Please continue to share her post, share her information, and I will talk to you folks all later. Love you. Bye.